I too sing America. I'm the darker brother. They send me to the kitchen to eat when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then, because they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. Good morning, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here for our virtual celebration of Black History Month in Brooklyn South and Staten Island. I am Barbara Freeman, the proud executive superintendent, and I first want to thank our visionary, Superintendent Michael Prayer, who always asks us to dream big, and my dynamic BCO teams led by Dr. Beverly Logan and Chris Anzalone, who always say yes. Thank you to all of our BCO directors, with a special shout out to Deirdre Keys and Guy Tejeda for collecting and managing all of today's content. To our school leaders, teachers, and students who have captured their marvelous work that goes on each day in every school, thank you. It is always my honor to pause and reflect on the contributions of African Americans and the full diaspora that encompasses it. To be in awe of the resilience, fortitude, and spirit of a great people. To celebrate the past, marvel in the present, and look forward to the future. I have high expectations today of learning a lot and basking in the brilliance and excellence of our students, and being committed and recommitted to the work we all must do to have peace and love across this nation and this world. Today, we will experience our present orators, dancers, singers, and musicians. So let us sit back, take a deep breath, and take another deep breath, and be thankful and grateful for today. For Black history is our history. Thank you.
Lift every voice and sing till heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as a rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Prayer, High School Superintendent for Brooklyn South High Schools. I'm super excited about today. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's going to contribute today to lifting up Black history. Thank you to Executive Superintendent Barbara Freeman for always empowering us to allow us to dream big and and have these type of events. So thank you so much. And to everyone else who has contributed. I want to say this is a time that we are able to shine a light on Black history and honor and celebrate and narrate the stories of African Americans. And when I think about the significance of Black History Month, this is a time just to reflect on those significant individuals, the brilliance, the mighty, the strong, the proud, the ambitious, those who we are reading about and learning about today who helped shape our culture. I am honored to be in this space to celebrate the great legends of the past and the brilliance of today and the collective love of tomorrow. And most importantly, to respect the ones who are gone but will never be forgotten because of their courage to make a difference. Martin Luther King once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." So I love everyone. I thank everyone for sharing and remembering our Black history. Thank you and enjoy.
Good morning. My name is Lydia Colombo-Mani. I am the Deputy Superintendent of Michael Prayer, Superintendent, Brooklyn South High Schools. I welcome you today in the spirit of Sankofa, and I welcome you to our Black History celebration in that spirit of Sankofa. For those of you that are not familiar with that, the story of Sankofa is based on an African proverb that says, "It's not taboo to go back and fetch that which you have forgotten." For us today, what that means is you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. With that in mind, I wish you a great day, and I want you to enjoy this presentation as we explore Black history.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beverly Logan, and I'm the Executive Director of Brooklyn South Borough Central Office. Happy Black History Month. Black History Month is a time that we take to pay homage to our ancestors with the African diaspora. Our contributions to this world are endless. From science to the innovation of the Super Soaker, we have shown that we too are America. Let's celebrate and inspire our young people to be just as great as our ancestors or even better. Ashe.
Good morning. I'm here with Sydney Avila, winner of the District 2021 Spelling Bee. She is here to celebrate Black History Month with us and talk about who has inspired her. Sydney?
Hi. One Black history figure I identify with is Amanda Gorman. I'm sure you all know her from her poem, "The Hill We Climb," at President Biden's inauguration. It was very powerful, and it was also very inspirational. It was a very good poem as well. And because it calmed an entire country for a few minutes. And that is very interesting, because words can be turned into actions. Words can be turned into actions, as people say. And that's true, because some words can go into action. So that's why you need to watch your words. Amanda Gorman is a perfect example of that, because her words are turned into actions. Her poem, "The Hill We Climb," is about and a tremendous amount of struggle. We can still climb the hill and be free, and then we can go down it, which is the easy part. So all we have to do is believe that we can do the hard part, and then we can go to the easy part. And then it's all fun and games after that. I think she was also influenced by Maya Angelou, as am I too. Because Maya Angelou is an activist who used her words to make actions as well. Her words are about courage and braveness, and not to fear anything. You shouldn't fear anything. Amanda Gorman, not surprisingly though, has also won the first National Youth Poet Laureate, which is I think it's like the Nobel Prize, but maybe a step down from it. So that is a very big accomplishment, especially for a young woman such as she. My future aspirations are to become a writer, a young adult fantasy fiction writer to be exact. And I also, like Gorman and Angela, I want some of my books to become the actions that people take that will inspire people to make sure that everyone is free, everyone is happy, we are all rid of injustice in the world, and that we are all happy together. We can all be together and no wars, nothing like that. But if that doesn't work, I can also use my art, which is another thing that is an action. You can turn almost anything into an action. Your actions can become better or worse actions, and your words can become actions. But also, your visuals can become actions as well. So, and I'm very good at visual art, and I really love art a lot. So, if being a YA author is not successful, I want to become a comic book artist, and I also want some of my books to be used for words to become actions and for art to become action, because art is inspirational. A tremendous amount of art is inspirational, like the Mona Lisa or Van Gogh's self-portrait, or even Alma Woodsey Thomas's art. Like, her art is very, very good. When I won the spelling bee, when I won the District B, I felt very relieved, and I also felt very proud of myself because not only did I win, but I also got first place. So I'm very happy that I know I can achieve my goal of accomplishing my family's dream to be better than those who think we are lower than them, because it's not true. We can be better. We can be equal, and we can also be better. And it also took a lot of reading, and that's how I became a very good speller, because I love reading a lot. So, and reading has difficult words, and it also took a lot of studying words and Googling words and the definition, so I know which ones, when I ask for a definition, I know what the word is and I know how to spell it. So I hope you all will join us today for this celebration of all past, present, and future generation that can lead us to happiness and rid of injustice, and to also help us be free and happy together. And I hope you all can remember what our ancestors did to help us become free. And I hope you all will have a very amazing Black History Month.
Thank you so much, Sydney.
Folks, my name is Brennan Mullins. I'm a social studies teacher and a New York City educator for the past 15 years. Half of my career was spent at Murray Bertram High School, and the most recent half at Abraham Lincoln High School. And it was at Abraham Lincoln High School where I met the Black historical figures that had the biggest impact on my teaching career. These were Black women. Their names are Stephanie Edwards, Sade Gotkins, Adana David, C.C. Shields, and Dr. Ebony Campbell. You may have never heard of these women, and you won't find their names in the history textbooks. But history isn't often shaped by the individuals from the top. It's often shaped by the individuals on the bottom. Whenever I would walk by the classrooms of these women, they were magical spaces, and I was always trying to figure out what that magic was. And it all came down to one answer. These women excel at creating Black spaces, and they excel at freedom dreaming. They excel at imagining a future where Black people are in the future. And it seems like such a weird statement to say, but I often think about the artist Alicia B. Wormsley, who has a quote, "There are Black people in the future." And at the center of that quote, its meaning, Florence Okoye wrote, "It dares to suggest that not only will Black people exist in the future, but that we will be makers and shapers of it too." When I walk by the classrooms of these women and I interact with them and I have conversations with them about teaching and about their experiences, I'm often reminded of what it means to create a space that centers Blackness, because I've only ever known white spaces. The town I came from was white. The schools I went to were white. The curriculum I experienced was white. When I came to New York City, I thought all that would change. I mean, after all, I was, teaching mostly Black students. But when I stood in my classrooms, I began to realize more and more, well, I'm a white teacher. The curriculum I'm teaching is white. And curriculum is often a mirror. In other words, Black students, white gaze. And when I would observe these women teach, when they would share ideas, it was very evident that these women were creating Black gazes in their classroom. These women were centering Blackness. And I started trying to do my best to do the same thing to the best of my ability, fully knowing that I'll never be able to fully create it within my own classroom. Because what does it really mean to create a space that centers Blackness? What does it mean to create a Black future? What does it mean to define Blackness and Black history? And far too often, Black history focuses on the trauma. The trauma can't be ignored, but to focus only on the trauma is to be a white gaze. Because when I think about what Blackness is, Black history, what it really is, it's joy. The classrooms of these women is joy. And Black joy is that future. Because the future has to be the design that Black people have. The fuel of Black people has always been joy. The fuel of Black history has always been joy. And then the next question is, how do you center Black joy? Well, thanks to the women that I mentioned, they helped me discover other Black female educators who've had huge impacts on education. Black educators like Dr. Bettina Love of the Abolitionist Teaching Network, or Dr. Goldie Muhammad, who has created a pedagogy that not only centers Blackness, but through that centers the human being and is very different compared to any other pedagogies that I've learned about. It's a pedagogy of joy. Because far too often schools lack that joy. It tries to drown out the joy that Black people have. So I want to thank these educators for helping me decenter myself, which was very hard to do. And it's something that I still struggle with and will always struggle with. And I'm okay with that because I should struggle with it. And I want to thank these educators for helping me see the joy that is within all Black students and students of color. When I think about the classroom that I hope to create, I always have to remember that the key to that will always be listening to Black people. Because Black people believe in something that you can't fully see in front of you. Black people have always had to imagine a future that doesn't quite exist yet. At least that's what I've learned from Black history. So, to end, Black history has helped me create spaces to imagine, for my students to imagine. Black history has helped me allow Blackness to take up the space and to decenter myself. And I hope every day that we can all appreciate the Black educators that we have in the New York City education system. But more importantly, creating spaces that centers Blackness, it requires all of us to listen to Black educators, to listen to Black history. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cindy Serrano, and I'm a social studies teacher and an alumni here at Abraham Lincoln High School. And today I'm here to celebrate and honor two of the most influential people in my life by the names of Audre Lorde and Kimberly Crenshaw. Now, I was first introduced to these women and their work on intersectionality and feminist theory in my early years at Hunter College, at a time in my life where I was beginning to understand and comprehend the roles and the responsibilities of what it was and what it meant to become an educator in our New York City public schools. And I remember that through their work and through their testimonies, I was able to not only see myself, but see so many communities, so many different identities in terms of race, gender, class, and the ways in which we can use education to empower and uplift our students, our learning communities, and our society in general. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of quotes that really have stuck with me and inspired me in my everyday personal, academic, and my professional life with you all. So the first quote we have is by Kimberly Crenshaw, which states, "When feminism does not explicitly oppose racism, and when anti-racism does not incorporate opposition to the patriarchy, race and gender politics often end up being antagonistic to each other, and both interests lose." The second quote is by Audre Lorde that states, "There is no thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issued lives." So when I teach my students, when I am attempting to foster these welcoming and inclusive, equitable learning communities, I think back to the work of these two women that have not only been able to help me see and understand education as a tool of empowerment and uplifting for me, but as one that I could use to do the same for my students. And this is coming full circle because now I have the privilege and the honor of teaching my students about the work of these women and countless other Black Americans that have paved the way to create a more inclusive and equitable society for us all, that my students and so many students in New York City have been able to see themselves in the curriculum that they're teaching, in their classroom communities, in their learning environments. And I have some students that really wanted to share with you what the work of these two women have been able to do for them and what it means to be able to have these women as some of their role models in their life.
Encouraging,
liberating,
uplifting,
iconic,
inspiring, empowering.
Thank you very much.
Hello, world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Mr. Griffith, and I'm representing PS361 in Brooklyn, New York. And welcome to our Black History celebration. I want to talk to you a little bit briefly about officially when Black history became recognized in the United States. So we're thinking back, if you can with me, back to around 1970s. Well, let's say conversations into the 1960s. I want to say from my research, we're looking at 1967 to 1970. But one important figure, if you do any type of research on Black history, you'll find the name Carter G. Woodson comes up a lot. He was born in December 19th, 1875, so a very long time ago, but he was the first, and I wanted to make sure I highlighted that. So I encourage you to Google that name, Carter G. Woodson, and see what remarkable work he did so that we can sit here, so that I can sit here before you today. So he had that forethought about celebrating not just the accomplishments of the Negro, but just to ensure and to make sure that the history will never be forgotten. Oh, here's one interesting fact that I found, that one of the reasons that the month of February was actually chosen as the month to celebrate Black History Month, it was the birth of Frederick Douglass. Who knew? So another important person I want you to do some research on. And another quick fact, we are not exactly sure of his birth date. So one important reason to keep documents for history. So let's get into the presentation. Oh, I forgot I had this slide. So here is a picture of Carter G. Woodson. When you actually do the research, that's the individual you want to be looking for. And I thought this picture was so inspirational. So if you look closely, you'll see a lot of students on top of the roof, and they're holding up that Black fist, which, as we know, or if you didn't know, is a symbol for us Black people about the power and the resilience of Black, just being Black. It's so very powerful. And so definitely you could do some research on that as well. If you see people holding up the fist and you want to know why, there's another good thing to research. So here we go. So Simone Biles, I am in awe of this woman, and I can think of no better person to celebrate for this Black History presentation than Simone Biles. If you don't know who she is, I call her, and a lot of people refer to her as an African American treasure in the field of sports. Simone was born on March 14th, around 1997 in the state of Columbus, Ohio. She was raised by her grandmother. Let me get me out of the way. There we go. She was raised by her grandmother. So her parents were dealing with some issues, and she was adopted into the family of her grandmother, who really was responsible for much of her upbringing, and she often talks fondly of her and everything that she's learned. And I know for me, I had an instant connection with her just from that, because I too, for a time in my life when I was much younger, was raised by my grandmother as well. And I'm sure many of you watching may be living with a grandmother or being raised by a grandmother or grandfather. And so she began her professional journey, I would say, from the research again that I found, in gymnastics in 2007. So around 6 years later, we're talking about 2013, she blew the gymnastics world out of the water because she won the all around in the US and the PG championships. And if you don't know a lot about gymnastics, let me just say, she snatched everything. And I think you'll get it. She came in and just was a force to be reckoned with, and still is, as you can see, just some of her gold medals that Simone has accomplished. So again, I really want to emphasize this for those of you watching again, that she is the most decorated female gymnast in the world. And I actually should have said African American female gymnast in the world. And so when you think about gymnastics overall, and you people want to say a name as someone that young women are going to look up to, Simone Biles is that woman, and they're going to be looking to her for a very long time to come. She has made her stamp as an African American woman in the field of gymnastics and sports overall, and not just in the United States. I want you to get this, in the world. I think it should be the universe, but so again, so here's just a medal count. And I've done a lot of Googling on this, and the numbers seem to go up and down, but one thing's for sure, she got the most gold. So 19 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze. And then she has other medals for, smaller competitions that she has competed in. She's good, right? So this is really something that is going to be, who is again part of that history that we talk about, that we want to make sure that we ensure in our young people and adults, the African American history. And Simone has done it. So we have three elements. That's like three moves. They're called the Biles in women's artistic gymnastics. And so when they're allotting points to other contestants, they'll often refer to it as, oh, she's going to attempt the Biles, or this move was made famous by Simone Biles, and then you get your points to that. I mean, that is some real serious stuff right there, to have a move named after you. So if you're into sports or into gymnastics, maybe one day you might find yourself doing the Simone Biles move. So that's in vault, balance beam, and floor exercise. Her floor exercise is not to be messed with. She does not play. So I wanted to give you a clip of just that, of Simone doing her thing. Get ready to be amazed. I hope this plays. I've checked it.
It is unreal and as well done as anybody, man or woman, has competed in.
Man or woman, you heard that?
Right off the bat, very first tumbling pass. Triple twisting, double back.
Go. Yes. I mean, come on.
Money!
He said
Just
money.
keep making history, Simone Biles.
African American history. Nailed it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait. Just wait. Nailed it. So, I mean, I have seen it a lot. I actually watched it live when it was officially debuting. But I truly love this young woman, and I hope that the taste of her accomplishments that I gave you will inspire or encourage you to want to just give her a quick Google. I know most of you have your phones and you have those tablets. If you just type in her name and just watch it, she has books written for children about her life and her accomplishments. So please check them out, support her, check out her YouTube and her social media pages, and see what else you can learn about this amazing African American young woman's gymnast, Simone Biles. I think I have
It is unreal and as well done as anybody.
Well, that was it. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos by me, but I hardly like to edit because I just want it to be authentic. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy all the other presentations and enjoy the rest of your year. And please continue to be blessed. Remember just how blessed your life is, and share that blessing with others, and be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Thank you so much. Bye.
Shadows on the wall, noises down the hall. Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Bad dogs barking loud, big ghosts in a cloud. Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Mean old mother goose, lions on the loose. They don't frighten me at all.
Dragons breathing flame on my counterpane. That doesn't frighten me at all.
I go boo, make them shoot. I make fun when they run. I won't cry, so they fly. I just smile, they go wild. frighten me at all.
Tough guys fight all alone at night. Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Panthers in the park, strangers in the dark. No, they don't frighten me at all.
That new classroom where boys all pull my hair, kissing little girls with their hair in curls. They don't frighten me at all.
Don't show me frogs and snakes and listen for my scream. If I'm afraid at all, it's only in my dreams. I've got a magic charm that I keep up my sleeve. I can walk the ocean floor and never have to breathe.
Life doesn't frighten me at all. Life doesn't frighten me.
Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Life doesn't frighten me at all.
Life doesn't frighten me at all.
My, ain't that something? You ain't seen nothing yet. Talk about a treat. You should see that chick and me strutting down the street. My, ain't that something? That's my hat. My heart's thumping. I ain't seen nothing that look like that. My, ain't that something? Shut my mouth. My heart jumping north, jumping south. It really walks, really talks, it really moves about. It must be real, solid deal, I'm gonna figure it out. My, ain't that something? Hear me shout. Ain't that something? Ain't that something to shout about?
February is dedicated as Black History Month to honor and remember the imperative people, triumphs, events, and struggles of African Americans throughout history. This was first celebrated by Black students at Kent State University from January 2nd to February 28th in 1970 and was since continued.
We must celebrate Black history, especially on Staten Island, because one of New York City's first Black communities was located on the South Shore. Sandy Grounds, no further than 11 minutes from our high school, housed free African Americans as early as the 1820s. The community maintained its unique demographic up until the 1960s and 70s, but luckily remains as one of America's only African American 18th century cemeteries.
Notorious Black historical figures such as Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman congregated in the neighborhood church, the Rossville AME Zion Church, which doubled as a stop on the Underground Railroad. In honor, in remembrance, and in celebration of former Black societies, we had our peers discuss the meaning of Black history.
Describe Black history in one word.
Resilience, determined, joy,
Vibrant, influential,
power, courage, community, persevere, justice, proactive, inspired, solidarity, empowerment, revolutionary,
Unity.
What does Black history mean to you?
Black History Month gives me the opportunity to reflect on not only who I am, but also the individuals who made sacrifices so that I can be the person that I've developed to be today.
To me, Black history means that Black people can achieve excellence, be successful, and simply exist in the face of oppression and discrimination.
To me, Black History Month is a time of reminding people of the contributions Black people have made because they've been overlooked by the majority of society.
What Black history means to me is appreciation and pride in my people and culture, which allows me to fully embrace myself.
To me, Black History Month means triumph, resilience, pain, unity, love, and courage.
To me, Black History Month is a time dedicated to uplifting the side of my culture that has been silenced for so long. We get to acknowledge not only the history of oppression, but the future of success.
Why is it important to teach Black history? Because we, the people, need to understand our history, the truth about our history, so that we are not condemned to repeat it.
In American history and understanding that there's so many different features that have happened, but I think the struggles as well as the growth that has happened, we've come a long way, and I think it's important to know that there's things to celebrate.
I think it's important for students to learn and connect to what they're learning, even if it wasn't their own experience, so that they can understand what other populations or what their peers even have gone through in the past, and what's kind of made people who they are.
I think it's important to teach Black history because I feel that it is super important for students to see themselves represented in curriculum. And the fact that our curriculum for a very long time has been written very Eurocentrically, I think sometimes there's not other voices. I really do think that's why student voice and student representation needs to be there.
The history books that we have been using for so long have been so one-sided and so censored that the contributions that Black people have made to the formation of this country have been so largely ignored, and it's so important for us to understand those contributions and acknowledge them and celebrate them.
So I truly believe that to teach Black history is about the inspiration and the perspective. We study history in general to immerse ourselves in the past so we can connect to today. And Black History Month is about accomplishments, successes, inspirations, even the struggles that all are the threads that make the fabric of American history. So I believe truly and deeply that a narrative that's been neglected is brought to light and celebrated.
It's important to teach Black history because Black history is American history. And as Americans, oftentimes we view Black history as being something that is only about or for Black people, but in actuality, it's about all of us as Americans coming together and learning and understanding how great people that came before us all band together to make everyone's life a better place.
The 2022 Black History Month theme is Black Health and Wellness. Today we will talk about some African American medical professionals who made advances in the health field. Sit back, relax, and check out what these awesome people did.
James McCune Smith. He was the first African American to earn an MD and practice in the United States. He opened what's thought to be the country's first African American owned pharmacy.
Rebecca Crumpler. She became the first female African American MD in 1864. She treated freed slaves after the Civil War and published one of the first medical books written by an African American. Tobin Carter Fuller. He was the first Black psychiatrist in the United States. He researched brain disorders with Dr. Elias Alzheimer's while in medical school.
and played a major part in Alzheimer's disease research. Daniel Hale Williams. He founded Chicago's Providence Hospital, the country's first Black-owned interracial hospital, in 1891. He performed the first ever successful heart surgery 2 years later. Ernest E. Just. He won the NAACP's inaugural Spingarn Medal for his research on fertilization and cell division in 1912. Louis T. Wright. He graduated 4th in his class at Harvard Medical School. While serving in World War I, Louis developed an intradermal vaccination technique. Jane C. Wright. She was an oncologist. An oncologist is someone who treats cancer. Jane was one of the pioneers of chemotherapy. William Augustus Hinton. He developed the Hinton test for diagnosing syphilis and published the first medical textbook by an African American. Charles R. Drew. He discovered that plasma can replace whole blood transfusions. He founded 2 of the first blood banks. He was the first African American to earn an MD from Columbia University in 1940. Marilyn Hughes Gaston. She published a study of sickle cell anemia that led to nationwide tests for newborns. She was the first African American and female director of a public health bureau.
Jocelyn Elders. She was appointed by President Bill Clinton in 1993 as the Surgeon General of the U.S. She was the first African American and the second woman to hold this post. These are just some great African Americans who made great strides in the medical field. It gives us great pleasure to celebrate their achievements and success. Thank you for joining us in honoring them during 2022 Black History Health and Wellness celebration.
Hi, my name is Antonio J. Ventures. I have created a program using Scratch Junior about Katherine Johnson. I want to tell you about the cool things and amazing and inspiring things she did over the years. I hope you like it. As a child, Katherine loved to count. She counted the steps to the road, the steps to the church, and the number of dishes and spoons she washed. She was so smart. She skipped 3 grades ahead of her brother. At age 10, Katherine was ready for high school. However, her town's high school did not admit Black students. Katherine's father worked day and night to move to a new town with a Black high school. She finished high school and became a teacher. She wanted to be a mathematician, but in those days, there were no jobs as research mathematicians for women. Years later, Katherine got a job in NASA as a computer to make calculations. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Katherine Johnson made calculations to help the NASA astronauts go to the space and the moon. She made the calculations to help Apollo 13 astronauts come back to Earth after an explosion in space. Thank you for learning about Katherine Johnson, the Black research mathematician who saved Apollo 13.
Black History Month is a month-long commemoration of African American history and achievement that takes place each February in the United States.
The idea for an African American History Month was first conceived by the historian Carter G. Woodson. Woodson and an association known now as the Association for the Study of African American Life and History organized the Negro History Week beginning in February 1926.
They selected the month of February for this celebration for two reasons. First, it was close to the birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, who had been responsible for the Emancipation Proclamation. Second, the African American orator and abolitionist Frederick Douglass was born in February.
During the next 50 years, Negro History Week grew in popularity. American cities started their own celebrations of Black achievements.
Teachers, especially in schools with a large percentage of African American students, use class time to discuss the contributions to history made by African Americans. The Civil Rights Movement also contributed to the popularity of Negro History Week.
50 years after the first celebrations, President Gerald R. Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976. Ford asked Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history.
Today, schools around the country celebrate Black History Month.
Imagine living in a body where everything on the outside is upright lines on your face and your bright teeth and vibrant, unapologetic, audacious personality is what masks your hidden conflicts and have everyone fooled that I'm good. Since 1865, you've been good. You've been free. We've been free, but not free enough. Free-ish because the blood my ancestors shed still lingers on the collars of our necks, still choking from the remnants of racism, suppressing the hidden sexism because big girls don't cry. Free is all men, but free-ish is the black man, the black woman, and the black child. Free-ish because the pressure they put on our necks, the back pains that we've endured for 400 years, the code switching, the ducking and dodging, the bullets of oppression, and somehow still getting caught in the crossfire trying to escape to full freedom. Free-ish from the feeling of trying to bargain peace from a piece of their perceived peace in lieu of the loud internal yell that says, leave it all and just go, except there's nowhere to go. And we ain't never had nowhere to hide. It's like an everyday roller coaster. Can we breathe? Will we live? Are we only worthy when we die? Do we matter? Will our kids make it past 25? No longer segregated, but still not equal in the fight for equity and justice. This is Black Lives Matter, the sequel. And we are reliving the dark memories, barely scratching the circumference of what it all boils down to. Free-ish because we can speak up, but not too loudly, because Reverend George Lee, Herbert Lee, Medgar Evers, Malcolm Martin, Nipsey, next maybe you could possibly be me. Free-ish because I'm blacker than black. I'm black always, in all ways. Free-ish, the feeling of false freedom, but I feel for you. I've been in the field for you, and it's real for you.
My name is Kurt Holder. I'm a senior at FDR High School, and I'm a member of MBK. You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it, by Malcolm X. When reading this quote, it makes me look within. I believe that it relates to the ongoing violence between black men and police, not only in New York, but all around the nation. Regardless of your status in society, you must abide by the laws. I interpreted this quote by acknowledging the difference between right and wrong, the importance of having morals, strong integrity, and doing right by others, no matter what position of power you are in. Malcolm X was mainly known as a black activist raised in Harlem, who was also a part of the well-known influence group called the NAACP. He was a minister and supporter of black nationalism. This quote inspired me to spread the awareness about police brutality and criminal activities overall. We need to continue to lead by example and be the change we want to see in the world. You are not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it, by Malcolm X.
My name is Tyler Hassel. I'm a senior at FDR High School and the vice president of My Brother's Keeper. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, by Nelson Mandela. Education is important in so many aspects of our lives. It is the main tool in being able to improve your life and those around you. It can be used to bring people together by teaching others about different cultures and identities. At the early stages, children can be taught that despite differences in appearance and customs, everyone is equal. By teaching this from young, it can lead to a more accepting society. Promoting intercultural exchanges and reducing meaningless discrimination and feelings of superiority. Nelson Mandela was part of the African National Congress, and under them led a group called the Youth League, which gave the ANC more peaceful protesting options such as boycotting and civil disobedience. For over 20 years, Mandela directed peaceful protests against the South African government and compulsory education for all children. This quote inspires me and motivates me to want to teach others about educating groups who may be ignorant about the topic. In society, we tend to reprimand people who don't have enough knowledge about the things that they're speaking on. We should educate these people instead because it's more peaceful and can prevent problems from occurring. Starting like this can definitely lead society to a better place for the future. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, by Nelson Mandela.
West African dance has been with us from the beginning of time. Dances like Manjani, Lamba, Uliva, and many more are some of the dance styles passed down from the king and queens of Ghana, Benin, and the Mali empires.
These dances have close connection to African tradition. Music and dancing is an
name is Ebony Joseph, and I am a junior in the medical assisting program here at Carl Barton High School. For me, Black History Month is an opportunity to acknowledge the hardships and triumphs that we have overcame and accomplished. Here's an original piece called Our Foes. Black and white, the colors established by our sight, but it does not determine an African American's might. Fought for rights? What did they decide? It's not the right time. Over history, our hard work has been underappreciated, but in this new age, it's time to bring them into the light. We built the structure of this country for not even a penny. The thanks we get, we might as well forget. You offered reparations when all we wanted was freedom. We've gotten apologies, but only a few were sincere. Are we that different that you cower in fear? We asked for education, fought for a lifetime. When we got it, it came with 2 S's, separation and segregation. Times have changed, but the higher than thou attitude is still there. It's not fair, but you don't seem to care. Time after time, we rose. The next time, who knows which way it'll go. But just know, when we band together, we conquer our foes. Ghetto is the word you use to describe all that we do. But when it comes to you doing the same, it's somehow insane and a new trend. But we don't take offense. Go share it with your friends. Cause all we want in life is equal rights. With that same animosity, we strived. We've got our phones out, let's show the world now. Through all the hardship we faced, our ancestors were safe. Whether it was believing in mythical beings or God himself, they always found a way to have and hold strength. I could never be like the great Shirley Chisholm, but one thing I've got is a little knowledge and wisdom. As we grow, wisdom does too. That's how our ancestors pulled through. We've got ways to go, I'm just letting you know. Malcolm X, MLK, leaders in the civil rights movement. Harriet Tubman, abolitionist and political activist. Nelson Mandela led South Africa from apartheid to a multiracial democracy. The fact that this was even needed was plain hypocrisy. Once again, we had to fight to get back our God-given rights. Don't let these wrongdoings change your positive outside. Let's remember what MLK wanted, not for us to fight, but for Black and white to unite. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nevin Rivera, and I'm reciting a poem by Yuseli Perkins. Hey, Black child, do you know who you are, who you really are? Do you know that you can be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, Black child, do you know where you're going, where you're really going? Do you know that you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, Black child, do you know that you are strong? I mean really strong. Do you know that you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? And I'm also reciting another poem by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams go, life is a brown field frozen with snow.
Alma Thomas was also one of the first African American women to earn an art degree. Alma Thomas is widely recognized as one of the most influential artists of the 20th century.
What's up, y'all? My name is Dylan Johnson, and today the quote I am discussing that speaks volumes to me is by Dr. Mae Jemison. And that quote reads, "Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations." And to me, this quote, basically, I looked at it from a modern day perspective. You feel me? So on social media, in the beginning of the year, we've seen people posting on Instagram, Twitter, they cutting off negative people in their lives, cutting off all negative energy. We're prospering this year, this, that, and the third. And we basically could look at this quote like that. When people tell you that you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not smart enough to complete that, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough, you can't do that. Those are other people's limited imaginations of what they have set for you. And this quote is basically addressing that you shouldn't meet those limited imaginations and try to make it affect yours in a negative light. You feel me? We all have our own destinies. We all have our things that we want to do in life, even if we're not sure yet. But we shouldn't allow the negative and the limited imaginations of others to dictate how we live our lives, how we plan for ourselves, our imaginations that we have for ourselves, our goals, our dreams. And that's basically what this quote means to me, not to let other people negatively impact your imagination. Because they have a limited view of you doesn't mean you have to have a limited view of yourself. Take confidence of who you are, what you can achieve. And if you don't have confidence, then build up that confidence. And that's why I take out this quote. Thank y'all for listening.
Welcome to Black History Month. My name is Omar, and I'm here to elevate the voice of Frederick Douglass. He once said, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress." For me, this quote means that if you don't work hard for what you want in life, you will never achieve your goals easily, as a person or as a people. It means that success and victory does not come easy. My MBK brothers, it takes courage and determination to make progress. If Black people didn't fight or struggle for their rights, we would probably still be in separate but unequal schooling. We probably still wouldn't have the right to vote. We wouldn't have made much progress. Frederick Douglass is famous for writing his autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, American Slave. The quote resonates with me because it captures Frederick's life and courage. He was born a slave, but struggled against slavery, racism, and discrimination. He made progress by becoming a free, educated, and important Black man in America. This is why we young people, young men especially, need to remember him and need to be reminded that if there's no struggle, there's no progress.
Create your world!
Hey everyone, over here.
Hey Zion, what's wrong?
I like all the art we've seen today, but why aren't there more paintings of people who look like, us? There's no people of color in any of this artwork.
Well, that's just not fair. The museum should have awesome art that represents everyone in the community. But what can we do about it?
I know, if there aren't paintings of people who look like us, then we'll just have to make some ourselves.
Yeah, we have the power to create the world we want to see. A world that celebrates the beauty in all of us. A world where our voices and our stories can be heard.
Come on, this way.
Create a world.
Create a world.
Colorful world.
Colorful world.
Together we can create such a wonderful world.
Wonderful world.
Your own imagination can become a new world.
Colorful world.
Believing,
Hoping.
dreaming of a beautiful world.
Beautiful world.
So can you create your world? And you can create your world.
I know we can!
We can create our world.
I know we can!
Let's use the goodness that's inside you. I'll use what's inside of me.
Okay, together we're gonna create the
world we wanna see. If we believe it, we'll achieve it, we'll be where we wanna be.
Nothing's to it but to do it. It begins with you and me.
Create a world! I'm gonna use my art to show how beautiful our neighborhood is.
Ooh, I'm gonna use my superpowered minds to come up with new ways to help people.
Well, I'm gonna use my stories to celebrate all kinds of families.
I'm gonna use my sports skills to make sure every one of us can play together.
Create a world!
Create a world.
Colorful world!
Colorful world.
Together we can create such a wonderful world.
Wonderful world.
Your own imagination can become a new world.
Colorful world.
Believing,
hoping,
dreaming of a beautiful world.
Beautiful world.
Let's use the goodness that's inside you. I'll use what's inside of me.
Okay,
Together we're gonna create the world we wanna see.
Create your world. I know we can. Create your world. I know we can. Can we create our world? Create your world.
We celebrate and honor the achievements of African Americans throughout history. Learning about these influential people has helped us realize we too can make changes through our actions, words, and our accomplishments. I think Black history is important because we learn about equal rights and power.
I think Black History Month is important because you learn new things and learn about new people. It is fun to study people.
It's important to learn about civil rights in our past.
I think Black History Month is very important is because people have sacrificed themselves for us.
It is important to learn about people who broke color barriers and led slaves to freedom. It is my hope one day there is no such thing as racism.
Celebrate Black History Month because it is important to learn about people who fought for civil rights. Things were not fair for African Americans, and we are working to make things better now. Black History Month is important because many Black people were treated badly. They fought for freedom for themselves and other people. African Americans helped pave the way for other races to fight for equality.
It is important to learn about people who help build a future for the people of today. Black people try to protect their families and other people from having a hard life. It is important to teach others about Black history because they teach people to never give up and that a good future is possible. Barack Obama was our first Black president. Ruby Bridges was only 6. People tried to hit her with sticks. Hateful words at her thrown hate to all with her skin tone. She went to school on her own. The kids all left. She was alone. She wants to learn everything in life, but she goes to school with strife. Ruby was brave and learned at school with just one teacher who was cool. Her teacher smiles, but Ruby sees her fear and uncertainty. Ruby does her best to stand all tall and not let fear make her fall, ignoring hate coming from the crowd. Ruby makes her country proud and fear ignorance. People stayed until Ruby showed the way, beautiful and do what right, and then peace will be in sight.
We are here to celebrate Black History Month. We're here to celebrate Black people from the past and present. Black Lives Matter and all that.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, pulling in. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, when I can for my people. When the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night.
Prince Hall.
Jackie Robinson. Nat Turner.
Gwendolyn Brooks. Muhammad Ali. Jay-Z.
Marcus Garvey.
Rosa Parks. Harriet Tubman. Chadwick Boseman.
Malcolm X. Madam C.J. Walker. Ruby Bridges.
August Wilson. David Walker.
Malcolm X.
Floyd Mayweather.
John Johnson.
Harriet Tubman. I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one of two things I had to be right. I had a right to liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other, for no man should take me alive.
Maya Angelou. My wish for you is that you continue to be who you are, to astonish a mean world with your kindness.
Maya Angelou. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise.
You can master your future if you still a slave to your past. Rihanna.
Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The GOAT, Malcolm X.
At the age of 16, at the age of 6, by way of your elaborate tricks, before I even knew it, your blue had fully lured me into your rocky shores. At this age, that blue shone so elegantly, while mine was merely the soil from which the mighty roses stood proudly, basking in the rights of the main attraction. At the age of 6, I'd seen how your blue can metamorphose. At that age, I was asking, Mommy, can I get one of those blue rhinestones? At this age, I was lost in your seas. At the age of 13, I found my way out of your seas. See, your blue intrigues me, but my brown blows me to dimensions, the way my brown flows through the atoms of every being. You can try to fit me in your envelope, but you see, my brown is too angular. You can try fitting me in your box, but you see, the tape's not tough enough. My brown will smoothly ease out of your box. I'll make it so that my brownlings may know not of these blues, nor the infatuation of your blue. Your blue may never know my brown, though my brown knows too much blue. My brown knows all the components, but your blue knows no blues, not like my brown knows its hues. Your blue may glisten on a sunny day, but my brown perseveres. My brown reaches heights on the nights where your blue dims. My brown may fall, but my brown will always rise. Rise to stand tall like Fano Hall, while your twins collapse. See, my brown soars the skies, crashing through the clouds. Your blue may have sullied my brown, but you see, like the phoenix, when the next hand on the clock ticks, I will recognize the tricks and rise again. You see, the tables have done like a coin and flip. Your label shall not define, no try to sneak forewarnings in the fine print of the contents within my brown. You see, I'm nothing less, yet nothing more, but you see, my brown is nothing less, but everything more. You see, I am not your whore, but I am your Eve. The reason you even have your blue, my brown is your blueprint. At the age of 16, you see, my brown may not be the roses nor the poppies, but my brown is the source in which the roses and poppies may sprout. I found my way to land, no longer lost in your seas. I found means to soar higher than your expectations. I've reached a new high score, even higher than the last before. So I have, so I will.
The
quote I chose to do is by Alice Walker. No person is your friend who demands your silence or right to grow. This quote means to me is that as people we change, whether we grow as a person, whether our values change, whether we want to grow better physically, mentally, or socially, whether you want to make better achievements, whether you want to get a better career, whether someone just wants to get better grades in school. And the silence part means to me because how black voices are never heard inside the need, whether discrimination or crime. This is why black activists or social movements like Black Lives Matter exist because black voices are never heard in times of need. And if your friend cannot see that, if your friend who's your so-called friend wants you to be silent in times of need like this, or the friend wants you not to grow as a person, make better things for the world, because the world we live in is not a good place. There's just many things happening. And if your friend is not going to let you talk about this, that person is not your friend at all. And if you want to make a change in the world, you can't let someone be your drawback and stop you from talking about this.
Good afternoon, my name is Wayne Simmons, and the quote I chose was a quote by Maya Angelou that states, "Do the best you can until you know better, then when you know better, do better." When I heard this quote, the way I took it was as everyone isn't perfect, and you're not gonna have everything figured out at once, so you're just gonna be doing the best you can and trying to be as good of a person you can be until you learn more and you develop and you grow as a person and learn how to, basically, essentially do better. But you're not going to do things you know is below. You're gonna try to be the best person you can until you can do better. And how that applies to me is like, within my family and then within society in general, a lot of it is expected of men. Like when you're a man, a lot is expected for you to do. You're expected to do this, you're expected to do that. You're held to a really high standard and you have to almost be perfect. And I feel like as a teenager in high school, of course, still growing as a boy and eventually about to become a man, I don't have everything figured out. And there's a lot of things I have to learn, whether it comes to relationships and when it comes to my personal self and just operating in society. So right now, all I can do is the best I can as a boy who's about to become a man. And as I learn and grow as a person, I will do better. And that's how it applies to me.
PS 127 celebrates Black History Month. February is Black History Month. This gives everyone a chance to celebrate Black achievement and provide a fresh reminder to think of where racism persists and help give the people opportunities to recognize their thoughts and actions towards others.
Educating ourselves helps us to make a change in the world. PS 127 is happy to be a part of this change. As part of our understanding, we researched 3 important women that have helped create a change in the world.
We celebrate Condoleezza Rice because she served as the 66th United States Secretary of State from 2005 to 2009 and as the National Secretary Advisor from 2001 to 2005. Condoleezza Rice had many great accomplishments. She was the first female African-American secretary. She served as the 66th United States Secretary, and she was the 20th National Secretary Advisor. Condoleezza Rice was an American diplomat, politics scientist, and a civil servant. Condoleezza Rice once said, "You can't plan every step in life, so let's take chances, shoot for the stars, and be the best we can be."
Kamala Harris is the first African-American politician and attorney who is the 49th current Vice President of the United States. Not to mention, she is the highest-ranking female official in U.S. history. Kamala Harris has joined the office of Alameda County District Attorney, where she has worked as a prosecutor for 8 years. After years of labor and determination, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were declared as President-elect and Vice President-elect on November 7th, 2020. Kamala also led a powerful legacy that influenced women of all cultures and nationalities to never give up and to always believe in yourself, even in the hardest of times. In the words of Kamala Harris,
I was raised to be an independent woman, not a victim of anything. So let's follow in her footsteps and take charge of our own future.
Maya Angelou is a famous African-American poet and civil rights activist. Her famous works include the autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. In this book, she shows what it's like to be a Black woman and be mistreated. In 2000, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Arts, and in 2010, she was awarded the Medal of Freedom by President Obama. Maya Angelou pushed the world towards a more equitable future through her work as a poet. In the words of Maya Angelou, there is no greater agony than burying an untold story. So let's follow Maya Angelou's lead and stand tall, stand strong, and tell our stories because our lives matter.
PS 127 is proud to be a part of this virtual celebration.
Action. Welcome to Shellbank IS 1-4 dance class. We are in our West African dance unit and currently learning about the traditional West African dance lamban and its symbolic meaning in West African culture. Traditional African dance and music has had a significant influence on the development of dance and music in the United States and globally, following all the way back to the Middle Passage of the 1500s. When enslaved Africans were brought to the U.S., they also brought their culture. Although dancing was restricted by slave owners, enslaved Africans still found a way to drum and dance, which eventually influenced the development of popular dance genres like stepping, jazz, tap, and modern. It is important to know and understand the roots of African dance and music, and important figures like Alvin Ailey, Pearl Primus, and Catherine Denham, who have done research and contributed to African-influenced dance. Lamban comes from the Mali Empire and is a spirited dance performed at weddings and other joyous occasions. Please enjoy these popular Lamban steps that we have been working on.
The sunshine, the golden fields, standing high, nature has revealed. The king of the kingdom roars, reached the horizon doors. A silent voice came to tame this great lion to its game. From the great kingdom he was taken, young and strong, worked on the fields from dusk to dawn, dragged to the floor in shame. After great days of fame, no family, friends, or even a name was left for him to claim, left to rust in the field of work, dreaming of the days with a smirk, knowing the chains will someday break, for the silent roar will make the chains shake.
"50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice.
It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of captivity. But 100 years later, we must face the tragic fact that the Negro is still not free.
So we have come here today to dramatize an appalling condition.
In a sense, we have come to our nation's capital to cash a check.
When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir.
Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the path of racial justice.
Now is the time to open the doors of opportunity to all of God's children.
Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood.
We cannot walk alone, and as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall march ahead. We cannot turn back.
There are those who are acting the devotees of civil rights. When will you be satisfied?
We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels, the highways, and the hotels of the cities.
We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one.
We can never be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote.
No, we are not satisfied. And we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustration of the moment, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves' owner will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood.
I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a desert state,
Sweltering with the heat of injustice and oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice.
A dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
This will be the day when God's children will be able to sing with a new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountain side.
Let freedom ring.
And so let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside.
When we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet,
from every state and every city,
we'll be able to speed up that day when all of God's children,
Black men
and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics,
will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
We all require and want respect. Man or woman, black or white, it's our basic human rights by Aretha Franklin's. This quote means that no matter your sexuality, your race, your religion, no matter what you identify as, you should receive respect, but not just receive it, but hand it out as well. Put your best foot forward for a person, no matter if you're having a bad day, you don't know if that person is having a bad day, so always put your best foot forward. And this quote was really easy to connect with me, because growing up in Jamaica, that's something we take pride in, manners and respect. It was a necessity for us growing up, and that's something that I will never lose.
My name is Tristan Cable, a freshman from FDR High School. The quote, "Each person must live their life as a model for others," by Rosa Parks. I believe this quote means that us as people should set an example for others and be like a leader for others. The person who said this quote was an African American woman who refused to give up her seat to a white man in 1955. This quote means a lot to me because it shows that I should be myself and not try to fit in with others, and try to be a leader and don't let other people imagination bring me down.
Good afternoon. My name is Myra Fulbus. I go to Claremont High School. I am in the 10th grade. The song that I'm dancing to is Joshua at the Battle of Jericho. It is basically about Jericho, who was the leader of the Israelites, and he wanted to have a war. So once he figured out who he has for the war, he sent 2 spies to the people that they were going against to see how things work and what they're afraid of from the Israelites, and it was their culture and their God. So when the spies came back, they reported it to him, and basically Joshua prayed to God and asked what can he do to win the war, because he didn't have that many people, but he had enough. So when he got to the battlefield, God told him in his testimony that he should ask everyone who wants to go and who doesn't to tap out. So what happened was he asked everyone, and he only had 100,000 out of the whole war. And when he went to go to the other war, basically it was him against 1 million people. So after that, he went against and prayed and trusted in God and won the war.
Down with the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Down with the battle of Jericho, and walls come tumbling down. Down with the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Down with the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. Good morning, brother, Neil Brown. Pray tell me where you found. Oh, tell me where you traveled to. On the enchanted ground. My name it is Neil Brown, whose name and I am bound. Traveling through this wilderness. On the enchanted ground. Down with the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Down with the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. Down with the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Down with the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. If we talk about the king of Gideon, if we talk about the man of Saul, there's none like the old Joshua. At the battle of Jericho. Through the walls of Jericho, he marched with spear in hand. Overthrew the ram on the Joshua's right. With the battle lamb in my hand. Then the Nebraska sword began to blow, the trumpet began to sound. Joshua ready to shoot the sound. And the walls come tumbling down. Down with the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Down with the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. Down with the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Down with the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down.
Hi, my name is Zeta Webster. I am a 4th grader at PS 90, the School for Environmental Studies and Community Wellness. This is my artwork. I will be explaining it. I chose the words around Dr. King to represent his I Have a Dream speech. I want others to be inspired by my artwork. I made Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. appear happy in his portrait because he inspired others with his speech. I know it made him happy to be able to spread his message of peace. I hope my artwork makes people happy and inspires them to be thoughtful and kind to one another, just like Dr. King dreamed about.
Hi, my name is Hamza Muharram. I am a 4th grader at PS90, the Magnet School for Environmental Studies and Community Wellness. This is my artwork. I will be explaining it to you. I was inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to create this artwork. I admire his braveness he showed when he tried to show the people the true path of justice. He persevered and was calm. When I was making this art, I did not give up until I was satisfied with the results. I created the pattern with words which represent Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s traits. I tried to make the words look like they're coming out of Dr. King's mind. When people see this artwork, I hope they feel inspired and have the courage to speak out for what is right, just like Dr. King.
Hi, my name is Ira Anwar. I'm a 4th grader at PS90, the Magnet School for Environmental Studies and Community Wellness. This is my artwork, number 8, for Martin Luther King Jr. I was inspired by the nonviolent protests of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to create this artwork. He wanted to be heard. I chose the words peace, faith, respect, and patience to represent Dr. King's wish for justice and peace for everyone. I hope my artwork gives people faith that one day Dr. King's dream will come true. My name is Mirav Kashif, and I'm from PS90, the Magnet School for Environmental Studies and Community Wellness. I'm in 4th grade. This is my artwork. I was inspired by the strong words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to create this artwork. His words were powerful, and I admire the way he read his speech with so much determination. I used warm and cool colors to make people calm and hopeful. The words remind me of Dr. Martin Luther King's hope for a better world.
Hi, my name is Mateo Marin. I am in PS90 and I am in 4th grade. This is my artwork. I want people to think about equality when they look at my drawing. It was inspiring and fun to create this work. I chose to make the words look like protest signs because Dr. King believed in the power of peaceful protest. I think it is so important to respect each other no matter what the color of our skin is. I was determined to show Martin Luther King's message. I worked very hard on my work until I was happy with it. I hope it inspires people.
Hey everyone, this is Ahmed Omar, representative of MBK from Life Academy High School. Today I present to you a quote from Martin Luther King. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. This quote resonated with me because it showed commitment and devotion. Through the roughest of times, the best thing you could do is keep moving.
Hello, my name is Tariq Bagshaw, and I'm a representative from the MBK. The quote I chose is by Shirley Griswold. It reads, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, they bring a folding chair." I find this quote incredibly profound because of how much it intertwines life as a whole. The table can mean anything: opportunity, people, relationships, the list goes on. Oftentimes we're left silent without a voice, but it's when we find the opportunity to speak and bring a folding chair that we can be heard.
Hello, my name is Matthew Jackson. I'm one of the representatives for MBK Life Academy High School. One of the quotes I picked is from Tupac Shakur, and the quote states, I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee I'll spark the brain of the person that will change the world.
What that quote means is that your actions can have an impact on people's lives, so always strive to make it a positive one. It can not only change your life, but many others as well.
Good morning, my name is Joran Lewis, and I'm a representative for my brother's keeper. The quote I picked today is by Fannie Hammer, and the quote is, "When I liberate myself, I liberate others. If you don't speak out, ain't nobody gonna speak out for you." For this quote, I wrote a poem that I would like to share to you all. The monster called white supremacy has a raging source of hatred. It laughs in my face as it mocks and rips part of my livelihood away like paper. It rips my skin, my community, my culture, my human rights, and tells me how to live my life. As it mocks me for these things, it starts to flaunt it as its own. It's almost like it benefits from me while at the same time, the corrupted figure hurts me. But I've had enough. I will not be the monster's victim anymore. I will be the hero of this story, with or without the help of someone else. At the end of the day, I'll put this monster to an end, because if I won't, who will?
Just don't give up what you're trying to do. Where there's love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong with that. Ella Fitzgerald.
Caged Bird by Maya Angelou.
A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky.
A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays then dares to claim the sky. The bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing.
The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, where the caged bird sings of freedom.
The bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. Every bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worm waits on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own.
Caged the bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing.
But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing.
Caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but long for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Hello, my name is Aziz Viliv and I'm a music teacher at Shellbank Junior High School 14 in South Brooklyn. In honor of Black History, we're at Shellbank Junior High School celebrating the legacy of Louis Armstrong and other iconic artists. Please watch the performance by Shellbank 6th grade students singing song by Louis Armstrong, Hello Dolly, in which they apply an improvisation technique invented by Louis Armstrong called scat singing. Thank you for watching. Okay guys, so let's sing our hello song. First time we'll say hello to each other as usual, and then when we sing second time, we will replace it with a scat singing, like a Louis Armstrong did. And let's imitate trumpet. It would sound like this. Wah, pa, pa, pa. Wah, pa, pa. Pa. Wah, pa, pa. Pa. Wah, pa, 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 pa. Excellent. Just like that, okay? So let's do it.
Hi, I am Harriet Tubman. I escaped slavery and I led children, men, and women to freedom, and via the secret system called the Underground Railroad.
I am Bessie Coleman. I am the first African American female pilot and Native American to hold a pilot's license. People called me Queen Bess and Brave Bessie.
My name is Louis Armstrong, and I'm a famous trumpet player and vocalist. I help develop a style of music called jazz.
I'm Jackie Robinson, the first African-American Major League Baseball player. At first, I wasn't accepted because of the color of my skin. People yelled and threw things at me, but I never gave up. And now I'm in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
My name is Rosa Parks. I helped end segregation by not giving up my seat to a white person in the bus. I also started the civil rights movement in this country.
Hi, I'm Ruby Bridges. I'm the first African American child to go to all-white school. There was a lot of protests, but I was brave.
I am Martin Luther King Jr. I fought for civil rights using nonviolence. I died fighting for freedom and equality for all people.
Hi, I'm Kamala Harris, and I'm the current Vice President of the United States. I'm the first female Vice President and the first Black American and Asian American to be Vice President.
I would love to be able to thank all those who fought so hard so I could be Vice President today.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gone.
If you want the cooperations of the humans around you, you must make them feel as if they are important. You do that by being genuine and humble. This is by Nelson Mandela. And the meaning of this is simply saying, make them feel their worth, make them feel their worth in living, make their life feel as if it's worth it. Make them know that their life is worth it. And being genuine is by keeping an open mind when they're telling you anything, like with their responses and with their stories and their actions. And being humble just means stay calm with the reactions of everything, the way that they respond.
the way that they answer their actions and your actions. Stay calm, humble, and respectful.
Life is not a spectator sport. If you're going to spend your whole life in a grandstand just watching what goes on, in my opinion, you're wasting your life. Jackie Robinson. What I think this quote means to me is that don't let things pass you by if you can't attain it. Like, if you see a social issue going on and you just kept on saying that, oh, someone's gonna handle it, someone else is gonna handle it, and it gets worse and worse, and you just progressively saying somebody else is gonna deal with it, the problem is never gonna solve. You gotta be the one who changes it. You gotta be the one who stands up for someone and puts yourself out there.
Ever since school, and even before, since the dawn, when I was barely a patch asleep in Wayland, since then, I have been told my name, a password, that I may speak with stars.
Your name is, you shall be called. And then they handed me this you see here written on my card. This I put at the foot of all poems, 13 letters that I carry on my shoulders through the street. They are with me always, no matter where I go. Are you sure it is my name? Have you got all my particulars? Do you already know my navigable blood? My geography full of dark mountains, of deep and bitter valleys that are not on the maps? Perhaps you have visited my chasms, my subterranean galleries with great moist rocks, islands jutting out of black puddles, where I feel the pure rush of ancient waters falling from my proud heart, with a sound that's fresh and deep, to a place of flaming trees, aerobatic monkeys, legislative parrots and snakes?
Does all my skin, I should have said, does all my skin come from that Spanish marble? My frightening voice too, the harsh cry in my throat.
Are all of my bones from there? My roots and the roots of my roots, and also these dark branches swayed by dreams, and these flowers blooming on my forehead, and this sap embittering my bark? Are you certain? Is there nothing more than this that you have written? Than this which you have stamped with the seal of anger? Oh, I should have asked. Well then, I ask you now, don't you see these drums in my eyes? Don't you see these drums tightened and beaten with 2 dried up tears? Don't I have, perhaps, a nocturnal grandfather with a great black scar, darker still than his skin? A great scar made by a whip? Do you know my other last name? The one that comes to me from that enormous land? The captured, bloody last name that came across the sea in chains, which came in chains across the sea?
I'm grateful to you, noble people, thanks. Mercy, mercy bien, mercy beaucoup.
I am also the grandson, great-grandson, great-great-grandson of a slave. Let the master be ashamed.
By the great equatorial arrow, I know there will come distant cousins. My ancestral anguish cast upon the winds, I know there will come portions of my veins. My ancestral blood with castled feet, bending frightened grasses, I know there will come men whose lives are green. My ancestral jungle, with their pain open like a cross, and their breasts red with flames.
Having never met, we will know each other by the hunger, by the sweat bought in the black market, by the fragrance of the chain still clinging to the skin. Having never met, we will know each other by the dreamful eyes, and even by the rock hands instilled, the quadrumanes of the ink and paper spilled at us each day.
What can it matter then? What does it matter now? Ah, my little name of 13 letters. Or the Mandigo, Bantu, Yoruba, Dahomen, name of a sad grandfather drowned in no trace ink. Good friends, what does it matter? Oh yes, good friends, come look at my name without end, made up of endless names.
My name, foreign.
Free and mine, foreign and yours.
Foreign and free as the air.
Hello, and welcome to Black History Month,
We here at PS329, the Surfside School, are celebrating and learning about historic black colleges and universities, HBCUs. As an alumni of the wonderful Norfolk State University, this year's focus is near and very dear to my heart. Please enjoy this video that includes some ways we celebrated and honored historic black colleges and universities, including the classroom doors and videos about the various HBCUs that were featured on our Surfside Morning News Report. Thank you. And as we say here at PS329, we are forever Surfside strong.
Behold, the green is gold! Welcome to Black History Month! We are class 5334B, and the HBCU we are celebrating and learning about is
Norfolk State University!
NSU is located in Virginia. It was established in 1935. The school colors are green and gold. The school mascot is a Spartan warrior named Spyro. The students at NSU are called Spartans. Yay! Actor Tim Reed and comedian and actor J.B. Smoove all went to NSU.
That's very true. And not only did they go to NSU, Maia Chaka, the first female black NFL referee, went to Norfolk State University.
We are class pre-K 111. In the HBCU we are celebrating and learning about is Allen University. It was established in 1870. Allen University is located in Columbia, South Carolina. The school colors is blue and gold. They have a school mascot. It's a fine yellow jacket. And they call the students Yellow Jacket. Our university motto is, we teach the mind to think, the hands to work, and the heart to love. Good.
We're celebrating and learning about its AAMU, which stands for
Alabama
Agricultural
and Mechanical
University. Thanks, guys. AAMU is located in Hurstville, Alabama. It was established in 1875.
The school colors are maroon and white.
There is a school mascot. It's a bulldog.
We are class pre-K 131. From the bell, Grand State University. It was made in 1901. The school colors are black and gold.
The school mascot is the Grambling Tigers.
The people who went to the school like Erica Badu and Tommy H. Two flags of the school. The motto is where everybody is somebody. And the Tiger Marching Band.
Good morning, Surfsiders. We are class 4-322B, and the HBCU that we are learning about and celebrating is none other than the South Carolina State University. That's Ms. King's alma mater!
SC State is in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Celestius University was established in 1896.
We show our bulldog pride by wearing navy blue and burnt.
Our school mascot is
Mike the Bulldog!
Call ourselves Bulldogs and
Loyal Sons and Daughters!
Famous alumni from our HBCU is John Jones,
The first player from South Carolina State University to be drafted to the NFL. Two fun facts about South Carolina State University are SC State is the only HBCU with an undergraduate nuclear engineering program.
SCSU is the only historically black university to be ranked as an overperforming college in
Welcome to Black History Month. Our class 313 is celebrating and learning about the HBCU, Virginia Union University. Virginia Union University is located in Richmond, Virginia. It was established in 1865. They are currently celebrating 157 years. The school colors are maroon and steel. The school mascot is a panther. The students are called Panthers. Also, NBA star Ben Wallace attended Virginia Union University.
Hi, my name is Zola Zephyrin. I'm a student at James Madison High School, and today I will be talking about Black History Month. Be in control of their future, whether that be going to college or doing something besides that. We have several programs here that can help a student feel more involved in their school community, such as sports or arts or poetry. We do several things here in Black Student Alliance to really make us feel accepted and like we're part of a community. For example, it was My Brother's Keeper versus Black Student Alliance in game night, where we played card games, we laughed, the principal came, and it was overall just a fun day. We also had art night with us making beautiful paintings that are actually displayed on the 5th floor. I like seeing Black role models. I like having a person to look up to. And I like seeing influential Black people every day on the walls. There are several figures that you may immediately think of, such as Rosa Parks or Dr. King. Well, in my opinion, my biggest hero, or one of my inspirations, would be Malcolm X. And I take inspiration from him because although a lot of people misconstrued his message, thinking that he only promoted violence, in reality, his message was to stand strong and to stand up for what you believe in. What we don't really talk about in school is how deep Black history really is, the fundamentals of Black culture. It's not just about slavery, it's not just about oppression, but it's about all the cultural benefits of Black history and everything that it encompasses, from scientific discoveries to musical and artistic works.
I've already talked about some of the Black people that inspire me, Rosa Parks, Dr. King, etc. Although not every Black person takes inspiration from the same people. Some take inspiration from musical artists, some take inspiration from scientists, and one of my peers, Gianna, takes inspiration from Bob Marley, a musical artist whose song, Redemption Song, has very powerful and influential lyrics.
that some things have changed from how they previously were 100 or 200 years ago. When we talk about Black history, we're not just talking about the past, but we're also talking about the present and the future where we make history. Some things that have changed. There could possibly be a Black woman as a Supreme Court justice, which there has never been. That's really impactful to young Black girls out there that are looking for a role model and someone to look up to. When people see me, they don't see a person. They see a Black person. They see a Black woman. We have so many labels for people in our society. We put people in small categories and expect them to stay there. Well, I hope for a future where people don't see me as those labels, but can really just see me for what I am, which is a human being. For my future personally, I would probably want to go to college and pursue a career in some scientific field, although other people may have different aspirations. There are several different lines of work that don't just include going to college, but vocational workers, and just every part of society, we need several different people encompassing several different occupations to really make up our civilization. 50 years from now, when I have my kids and grandkids, what I want to tell them about the past is that race is something that we value greatly in society, and I hope that it won't be as big a deal. They can go places without just being categorized as a race, but as a person.
From Ghana, West Africa, and the Ivory Coast.
It is a popular dance that is performed for many events.
We love learning about.
The price of hating other human beings is loving oneself less. Eldridge Cleaver. To me, this code means that you must be your brother's keeper and you must not disencourage another person. You must always acknowledge them. And if you are ahead and they are behind, you always try to pull them up and try to make them be on the same level with you.
So a quote that stands out to me the most is a quote from Malcolm X. There is no better than adversity. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance the next time. So to me, that sounds like perseverance or determination. When someone is striving to achieve a goal or to reach a successful lifestyle, they're going to fail or make mistakes throughout their lives. Now, I'm not saying that to be negative, but it's just a general statement. No one's perfect. Everyone's going to mess up from time to time. But you can still learn from those flaws, from those mistakes, and still keep your head up high and continue forward.
The theme of Black History Month for 2022 is health and wellness. So our medical technology students were in our pre-med academy. Each chose a pioneer in medicine to research and create a poster. And we've created a gallery walk so that other students can then walk around the room and learn about all of these pioneers rather than just the one that they chose themselves.
For Black History Month, any medical people that have been under any, for Black History Month, any medical profession. Mine was Louis Wright. He was known for vaccinations, antibiotics, and I sort of chose him because my field that I want to go to for is pharmacy. And some things I learned was that he was actually part of NAACP. So he was back in 1891, 1952. His parents were former slaves. He grew up rough. He didn't have it easy. And he ended up winning King Arm Medal, Purple Heart. He was one of the first, not first, but he did graduate fourth of his class in Harvard in medical in 1950. Actually missed 3 weeks of his school to join NAACP picket lines protesting. And it was about the birth of a nation. But when returning, he still ended up being fourth of his class. So.
Black historians, especially in the medical field, because it's very rare and not seen as important Black women and men in the medical field, and it makes a huge change in the health program.
Commitment. Great achievements in life don't just happen. They are the result of dedication, determination, and sacrifice. Commitment starts in your heart and soul. You must be prepared for obstacles and opposition. Commitment gives you the inspiration to carry forward even when confronted with tremendous challenges and turbulence. At John Dewey High School, in our continued work and commitment to our monthly 212 challenges, this month we will be focusing on the theme of Black history, looking at figures whose lives and work reflect that same dedication and commitment, the ideals of this month's challenge. As students discover figures throughout the building, they reflect and ask themselves, how is commitment a characteristic that is reflected in this person's life, work, and accomplishments? In this month of reflection and challenge, Principal Adele hopes that students carefully study the characteristics of true commitment through our historical figures, its meanings, features, and benefits, and how it relates to their personal values. Together, we will learn why commitment is important for people's health, well-being, and relationships, and most importantly, reflect on what commitment means for them and their own commitments now and in the future.
In February of 1965, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stopped through a little speck of a town in Alabama called Gee's Bend. That night he told the crowd, most of them direct descendants of slaves who had worked the land there, quote, "I've come over here to Gee's Bend to tell you, you are somebody." Boy, was he right. For generations, the women of Gee's Bend have been making beautiful quilts that have hung in museums across the country, and now are earning the artists their due.
We celebrate Black History Month during the month of February. Every February, people recall the real greatness of Black history and learn about the achievements of African Americans. During this time, we honor and remember the excruciating fight African Americans fought to put an end to segregation and prejudice. The Black History Month gives people an understanding of African American history that was once not appreciated enough, and reminds us of the importance of honoring and celebrating the contributions of African Americans to our country that helped it flourish. That is why Black History Month is so important.
When will we get freedom? Today? Tomorrow? Never? How will we know if it ever comes? It's either now or never. We need it in this time. I wish we could know when it comes. So, will we give democracy a chance? Oh, I do wish we could. Imagine a world where we could all be equal. It would be most exciting.
Strength is power. Power is needed to devour. All must yield and make golden fields. I must thrive to survive. I have a powerful brain not even all could dream.
February is dedicated as Black History Month, honoring the triumphs and struggles of African Americans throughout U.S. history. Black History Month is so important because it is an opportunity to understand Black histories going beyond stories of racism and slavery to spotlight Black achievement. Black History Month was first proposed by Black educators and the African American students at Kent State University in February 1969.
Black History Month was created to show the attention on the contributions of African Americans to the United States. People celebrate Black History Month by attending local Black History Month events, donate to Black organizations and charities. It is important to be knowledgeable about civil rights and Black History Month because it provides context for how we got to where we are today and a deeper understanding of the issues we still face in this country.
Freedom is like a bird, flying free, claiming its tree, building a nest and living in it. No need for segregation. Bluebirds, redbirds, crows, and all the rest, singing joyfully all together forever. But why does it have to be different for humans? Why can't birds of all different colors be together? Why we still have segregation, violence, and racism?
Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. This quote is by Martin Luther King Jr. Black History Month is an annual celebration for the history of Black Americans. Black History Month is important because it's a way to remember important figures and events in Black history.
my name is Wajami Exer. I'm a junior at Brooklyn Institute for Liberal Arts. The quote I selected today was, "He who is not courageous enough to take a risk will accomplish nothing in life," by Muhammad Ali. I believe that Muhammad Ali is trying to say that you must be brave enough to make a choice in the way in which you intend to lead your life. You must be prepared to deal with the consequences of those choices and the impact that they may have on your future. Regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, Muhammad Ali was much more than just an athlete. Throughout his life, he displayed a willingness to take risks both in and outside of the ring. Ali first stepped into a boxing gym at the age of 12. He initially intended to only stay long enough to gain the skills to confront a neighborhood thief, but his talent made him reconsider. Ali would go on to win Olympic gold and become a 3-time world champion. His legacy is just as much defined by his activism. In 1967, he was drafted to fight in the Vietnam War, but he refused due to his religious beliefs, as well as feeling that America should focus on providing equal rights for all of its citizens. The price he paid for sticking to his principles was being banned from boxing for some of the prime years of his career. He held no regrets on his decision and is remembered as a hero for his sacrifice. This quote is inspiring to me because I can apply it to my life. One risk I've taken was adding Baila to my list when I was trying to select a high school to attend. At first, I was afraid because I was unfamiliar with it, but when I came into Baila, I found it to be a great choice. My success here has given me the confidence that I will make the right choice in future life decisions.
Hi, my name is Marcus Harris. I'm a junior at William E. Gray High School, and for Black History Month, I have 3 art pieces from Pantone Oil Pastel. First, I have James McCoon Smith, who was the first African American to hold a medical degree. Second, I have Joseph L. White, psychologist and activist, whose work changed the way African Americans are viewed with psychology. Third, I have Edna Lewis, was a renowned chef, teacher, and author who helped refine the American views on Southerner cooking. This year's theme of Black History Month is health and wellness. These 3 pioneers contributed to our history. Happy Black History Month.
In a little tent, oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Lord, there've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will.
Hi, my name is Angelica. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm in the 9th grade, and the thing that I love the most about Black culture is the fashion and music, because the fashion speaks to me and the music is calm.
Hi, my name is Becca Drew. I'm in 10th grade, and my favorite thing about Black culture is our hair and how we can express and style it in many different ways.
Hi, my name is Nia. I'm a junior. I'm from the Caribbean, and one thing that I love about Black culture is the many different ways that we've come up with over the years to express ourselves, from the music or from the way that we dress.
Hi, my name is Ashanti. I'm in the 11th grade, and I'm from Guyana, born and raised. And one thing I love about Black culture is our resilience.
Salut, je m'appelle Christine Moscova Magdaya. I'm in 11th grade. I'm from the Caribbean. One thing I love about Black culture is that we stay true to ourselves no matter what.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm in 12th grade. One thing I like about Black culture is the music, the art, people, and it all tells a story.
Hi, I'm Miss Valentine, the dance coach at the Frank J. Macarola campus. Our Reborn Dance team will present a poem written by Nia Williams and a choreography piece by Natalie Dill to the song Freedom by Beyonce. We hope you sit back, enjoy our dedication to Black history.
Dear angels, do you know the difference that you make? The steps we have taken to end this pain. You walk upon those stairs to those pearly white gates. With each step, do you know the difference you've made? Words full of hate try to tarnish your name. A country so divided. Will we ever be the same? Black lives matter, but do they really? Peaceful protests in the streets, but it's terrorism to you. When I walk past, you hold your purse closer to you. You say all lives matter, but Black lives should too. Angels, angels, you've made a difference, you still do. I'll scream Black lives matter until there's justice for you.
May the last one burn into flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose, yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom run in hell. Hey, I'ma keep it running 'cause a winner don't quit on themselves.
George Washington Carver invented peanut butter. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter,
And jelly.
peanut butter,
And jelly.
First you take the peanuts and you crack 'em, you crack 'em, you crack 'em, crack 'em, crack 'em. Peanut butter,
And jelly.
peanut butter.
And jelly.
Then you take the peanuts and you mash 'em, you mash 'em, you mash 'em, mash 'em, mash 'em. Peanut butter,
And jelly.
peanut butter.
And jelly.
Then you take the bread and you spread it, you spread it, you spread it, spread it, spread it. Peanut butter,
And jelly.
You may not be able to bury your hardest times, forgetting that they happened, or try to change them down the line because those times were hard. They'll endure the moments you realize you are strong enough to stand on top of them. So wear your strongest posture now and see those hardest times as more than just the times you fell, but as a range of mountains you learned to climb. My name is Alayla, and the time is now.
Hi. 你好，我叫尼尔贝，我是一个聪明的女孩。我们是美国人，就是现在。
مرحبا، أنا المعتز، أنا ذكي ونحن صامدون وقد حان الوقت الآن.
Salut tout le monde, je suis Fanta Diallo, je suis noire, nous sommes égaux, c'est maintenant.
My name is Keely Jean Baptiste. I am a star. We are the universe. The time is now.
Hola, me llamo Nicolás. Yo soy moreno. Nosotros somos importantes. El tiempo de cambio es ahora.
Hi, I'm Justin Johnson. I am intelligent. We are hardworking. The time is now.
Hi, my name is Natasha. I am becoming. We are strong. The time is now.
Think about the generations and to say we want to make it a better place for our children and our children's children, so that they know it's a better world for them, and think if they can make it a better place.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love, and this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place, heal the world, make it a better cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel. There are dreams, we stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. Make a better world. Make a better world. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceived in will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling it when this earth crucify its soul? Though it's plain to see this world is heavenly. Be God's love. We can fly so high, let our spirits never die. In my heart, I feel you are all my brothers. Create a world with no fear. Together we'll cry happy tears. See the nations turn their swords into plowshares. We could really get there if you cared enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. Care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. Care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. Care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. 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 World we live in, for me, for our children, for me. World we live in, for me, for our children, for me. World we live in, for me, for our children, for me. The world we live in, for me, for our children.
Hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting my quote by Langston Hughes. I have discovered in life that there are ways of getting almost anywhere you want to go, if you really want to go. I felt that this quote was significant because it resonated with my life as a teenager. For me, it was never sticking to one experience forever. It was scattering multiple other experiences and trying them out for the first time. It was taking that so-called branch of life and growing into multiple new branches. Life will always throw you blind opportunities at you, and it's up to you to blindly explore them. That once branch of life that I started with has continued to grow into a tree and will continue on from now on. It's about not knowing your path to know your path. The real question is, when we start that path. And to those who do start that path, never give up with what you are trying to search for, as a crisis will always turn into achievement. To put it simply, life is not just one experience, but multiple other experiences. That's all I have. My name is Dylan Casquera, and have a good one. Peace.
I had no idea that history was being made. I was just tired of giving up. This quote is from Rosa Parks, and it means a lot to me because it influenced me not to make people push me around and tell me what to do even though I know my rights. So this time you should stand up for your rights.
Hey everybody, listen up. Today I'm going to talk about Black History Month. It's time to learn about African Americans and their contributions, MLK, and his I Have a Dream speech. Go on, dude, preach! Rosa Parks stood up for what's right. She really did put up a fight. Barack Obama, 44th president, started off as a normal resident. Now it's time to wrap it up. Everyone, let's celebrate Black History Month.
The djembe is one of West Africa's most well-known instruments, and it is 400 to 800 years old. People say its name comes from a phrase from Mali, which means everybody gather together. Today, students from all 3 grades at Park Preparatory Academy gather together to collaborate, improvise, and perform for this celebration.
Stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the pain sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors. That's what we become. I won't let them break me down because I know that there's a place for us. Oh, we are warriors. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown the mind. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown the mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. This is me. I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown This is me.
Everybody say 403. And what's today? Mismatch day. You're not gonna wave to the camera? Huh? Sheesh, look at them.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we desire. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take.
salutations. Happy Black History Month. My name is Olivia Marichal from Class 5-351. For me, Black History Month is a time to learn about African Americans and their impact around the world. Black History Month is like a story, and every time it's told in a different way, and that's the best part. Black History Month is an annual celebration of achievements by African Americans. We celebrate the many contributions that African Americans have made to American history. We recognize their struggles for freedom and equality. My favorite part of Black History Month is that you get to learn about African American excellence. My favorite person to learn about is Nelson Mandela. His quotes are so inspiring. For example, this famous one, "No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite."
Hi, my name is Joel Ray Jr. I currently attend New Utrecht High School, and I'm a part of the My Brother's Keeper program. And the quote, "A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination," by Nelson Mandela signifies the power of unity and logic and emotion to me. And I picked that quote because I feel like in life, without the balance of emotion and logic, it's difficult to survive. So that quote resonated with me, so that's why I picked it.
Injustice, the quote, meant to me that injustice doesn't have to be used by brute force, it can be used by peace.
This quote is saying that the future is for those who go after it and do what's needed to be done to get there. The future doesn't wait for anyone and isn't afraid to leave people behind. You have to be consistently upgrading yourself and to keep up with the times. In order to do that, you don't have time to complain and feel sorry for yourself. You just have to accomplish things. This quote is saying that the future is for those who go after it and do what's needed to be done to get there. The future doesn't wait for anyone and isn't afraid to leave people behind. You have to be consistently upgrading yourself and to keep up with the times. In order to do that, you don't have time to complain and feel sorry for yourself. You just have to accomplish things. And this quote is basically saying that people that will make it in the long run should know how to deal with technology. Those who can, and some of them will take over jobs. Thus, I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. They have no emotions, they can't feel anything, and they don't feel anything, so they are the best for the future. Barack Obama makes it clear that if he complains and sorrows in the moment of failure, he will never move forward. He is giving advice to no matter what unfortunate situation you find yourself in to move forward and press on. This quote means that you can't give up and you shouldn't only focus on the bad if you want to mess up. And if you continue to grind and make your dreams come true, you will be rewarded with whatever you wanted to happen.
All pirates, yes, in my heart, so guys to the merchant ships, minutes after they took flight, from the bottomless pit, but my hands were made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We followed in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever had. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None of ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear of atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just not part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever had. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Redemption songs.